You think on the face of it that live comedy would definitely be an art form. I mean, live comedy makes up the majority of the Edinburgh Fringe, which is the biggest arts festival in the world. So, therefore, you'd imagine that it will be classed as an art form. But guess what? It fucking isn't. Arts Council, the Arts Council, historically, they haven't seen comedy as an art form. They don't tell us why. They don't go into much detail as to why comedy isn't the same as ballet and the opera and all the other shit that comedy massively outsells year on year. They just tell us that we aren't an art. And to be honest with you, most of us are pretty fine with that. I mean, as much as I would like to tell people that I am an artist, I think my dick jokes are art in the loosest sense of the word. Unfortunately, at the moment, we are in somewhat of a pandemic. I don't know if you know this, but comedy has suffered massively during the coronavirus pandemic, and a survey of our industry that came out recently said that up to 80% of comedy clubs could close within the next year. Now, just to break that down, if 80% of comedy clubs disappear, there isn't an awful lot of comedy clubs anyway, but if 4/5 of them go, that was really quick maths. I'm just taking a moment to be impressed at how quickly I calculated that 80% was 4/5 or something. I'm genuinely really pleased with myself. If 80% of comedy clubs go under, there isn't going to be any live comedy left. Live comedy won't be a job anymore. And I've been lucky enough to be a comedian for 10 years. You won't be able to be a live comedian anymore. You won't be able to make a living out of the circuit. And if you're not able to make a living out of the circuit, then comedy suffers as a result. You may have seen recently that the government has promised £1.5 billion to help the arts, which is a fairly good thing. It's better than now, isn't it? But the problem is that that money is going to go straight to the Arts Council, and the Arts Council do not class comedy as an art form. Now, ordinarily, most comedians can't really give a shit what the Arts Council think. The problem is that unless we get funding from the Arts Council, lots of comedy will die. 80% of comedy clubs will close. And if 80% of comedy clubs close, there is no such thing as a live comedy industry anymore. Every comedian will be out of work. My God, if you've been a comedian for 10 years like I have, your CV looks fucking tragic. Right now, comedy is in a very precarious state, and unless it gets the funding that we need, then live comedy could potentially be a thing of the past. This is way bigger than just your local comedy club that you've been to once closing down. It's far bigger than that. All comedy on TV, all sitcoms, comedy films, if you like anything that makes you laugh, comedians are behind it. And if there aren't any comedians, then these things will suffer too. If it helps, think of comedy as like a teenager on Jeffrey Epstein's island. Unless it gets saved now, it's going to get fucked. That was a very funny joke there. A thank you, a thank you, a thank you. See? This is why you need to save live comedy, because without it, zingers like that would be a thing of the past, my friend. And it's not like comedians are sitting on a massive cash reserve. At the moment, I am literally sitting on a third-hand sofa. Not even second-hand, third-hand. This sofa has led 3 lives. So, at least. So, what can you do about it? What can you do about the situation? In the link to this video, there is... I'm so fucking bad at YouTube. I'm so bad at it. In the description of this video, there will be a link to a website called savelivecomedy.co.uk. Click on that website and sign an open letter. And all it needs is your name and your email address. Sign an open letter that basically asks the Art Council to recognise comedy as an art form. If the Arts Council does recognise comedy as an art form, then it means that we will get the funding that we need to survive. If they ignore everybody and they don't recognise comedy as an art form, then it's very likely that comedy clubs and comedians and everything that we create will die. Everyone in the industry, from comedians to venue owners, to the people that manage the shows, to the people that record them, the people that make artwork, graphic designs, tech, front of house, bar staff, fucking photographers, graphic designers, directors, producers, events coordinators. We would all appreciate it if you signed the open letter to say that live comedy should be an art form and is worth saving. Thank you very much. Goodbye. What the fuck? Thank you very much. Goodbye. It's a fucking presidential address over here. Oh my God. If I have to get a proper 9 to 5 job, you have no idea how fucked I am.